One of the main things that grown boys tend to do is gaslight you. Hi, my name's Abby, and if it's your first time watching me, welcome. And if you've watched my other videos, welcome back. I'm the founder of CoachAbby.com, and I'm also the co-author of a book called Manifest in Love. And I help women heal, rebuild, and love themselves more so that they can show up as the best versions of themselves in life, love, and dating. So if that's something you're into, please do subscribe to this channel. And I also want to say yay, hello to all my new subscribers. I thank you for subscribing. I think when I checked today, I was at 124. So thank you so much. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about grown men versus grown boys. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I was listening to Tony Gaskins. I don't know if you know about him, but he's a YouTuber, a really good one. And he's been talking about grown boys for a long time. And a lot of women were in his comment section saying, that's not a grown boy, that's a narcissist. That sounds like a narcissist. And the funny thing is, he had no idea what a narcissist was. So whether a grown boy and a narcissist are the same thing, or perhaps they share similar traits, I'm going to be talking about grown boys. But one thing is for sure, grown boys and narcissists are very toxic, which is why I'm making this video, to raise awareness, because not every girl or young woman or older woman knows the signs of what to look for. And I find, being a life coach, a lot of women are dealing with so much BS, and it could be because of two things. One, low self-esteem, or two, lack of knowledge. They are dealing with certain things in relationships and tolerating certain behaviors from grown boys because they think it's normal due to lack of experience. So if you yourself have experience with a narcissist or a grown boy, I would really appreciate if you could share your experiences in the comment section below, because you never know, you could help a young woman who could be currently with a grown boy or a narcissist and she's not even aware of it. So I have my notebook. If you see me looking down and squinting, making faces, I'm not being rude. I'm just struggling to read my own handwriting because it's terrible. So we're going to talk about, first of all, the signs of a grown boy, and then after we'll talk about the signs of a grown man. So a grown boy is someone who refuses to take responsibility for his life. So what you tend to find with grown boys is it's everybody else's fault. They place the blame on their mother, their father, their sister, society, whoever. Now, even if they have gone through things in their childhood, they refuse to deal with the issue. So they kind of just push it outside of them. It's almost like they take their balls and they just give it to society because they don't want to handle their own balls. They're kind of like, well, I don't need them, because having balls requires you to be a man. He refuses to take accountability for his actions. He could also be misguided. What you tend to find is a lot of grown boys do hate women. They could be a part of the men go their own way community, which to me, I'm okay with that, because, you know, I see that community as kind of like the Pied Piper. So the Pied Piper's, you know, he's playing his flute and all the grown boys are just following him over there. And I'm happy for them to go over there because it creates space for grown men to come our way. One of the main things that grown boys tend to do is gaslight you. So he might do something and you will call him out on that behavior. However, he will turn around and say you're the one with the problem. So let's just say he does something and you call him out on his bad behavior. He will turn around and say, well, that's your problem, you're insecure, or you're just being jealous, or you're just being needy. You know, he won't take responsibility for his actions or for how he made you feel. He will literally push it onto you. Grown boys tend to suffer with very low self-esteem. So what you might find is that they sleep around with multiple women. And the reason why they're sleeping around with multiple women is because they're trying to get validation, but also fill a void. Something's missing in them. So they want to go to this woman here, just to try and, I guess, get their energy or whatever it is that they're trying to fill. They will sleep with multiple women. And it could also be because perhaps as a teenager, they probably weren't like the cool guy. So now that they're older and they have access to women, they want to utilize that. What I tend to find is that grown boys still like to keep in contact with all their exes. And what you might find is that they do it on purpose to try and make you feel insecure, or to try and make you feel like you have to compete with his ex-girlfriend. Most of their exes are probably trauma bonded because he's broken them down over time, just like he's trying to break you down as well. Grown boys tend to drain your energy because they don't want to take responsibility for their lives. They tend to be, I guess you can say, like depressed or just low in themselves. So what they will do is randomly from time to time use you as a therapist. They will just dump all of their hurt and pain onto you, expecting you to build them up with your words of encouragement. Now that's fine from time to time, but don't make it so you are his therapist. If he has issues from the past, he needs to get help. It's not your job to fix him, okay? Grown boys is that they hate it when you take back your power. So if you do break up with them, they might go around trying to throw salt on your name, or they might even create fake social media accounts and try to gaslight you. So they might send you emails or text messages and putting the blame onto you. So it won't be like, I understand that me doing this led to you doing that, or me doing this caused you to act like that. It will literally be, you did this and you acted like that. It will be pushing it onto you rather than them taking an internal look at their own behavior. Now, a lot of grown boys have issues with substance abuse. So you might find that they drink a lot of alcohol, they might smoke a lot of weed, they might do drugs, and they're basically doing this to escape reality. They're trying to numb their pain of not wanting to take responsibility for their lives, which is why you should just leave them alone. Ladies, if you are with a grown boy right now, trust me, you will have zero, and I mean zero, regret for letting them go. But you will regret staying, you will regret trying to fix them, and you will regret tolerating the disrespect. It's not your job to fix a grown boy. Grown boys, they possibly can change, but only if they want to change, and they won't appreciate you trying to force the change. It has to come from them. But unfortunately, most of them are comfortable living in their dysfunction. Most of them are comfortable in living in their own delusional reality. So even though they might complain, you know, I hate the world, I hate this, I hate that, they're not willing to change. The funny thing about a grown boy is that they always talk about wanting change. However, they won't change themselves. They expect other people to change. They expect the world to change. They expect everything. Again, it's all about pushing the responsibility outside of them. Never will they look within. I don't know if this is because of there's actually something clinically wrong with them, or you know, that's something I don't know. I'm not like a therapist, so I don't really want to go down that road. But let's talk about grown men. Let me sit up straight, because grown men, you know, it's a little different. So grown men do take responsibility for their life, and they take responsibility for their actions. So a grown man could have experienced the same traumas as a grown boy. However, a grown man won't let it define him. A grown man will say, okay, this is what happened to me as a child, or this is what I went through, but that does not define me. A grown man will get himself help. He will get coaching, a mentor. He will do whatever he has to do to become the best version of himself. A grown man is going to be respectful to you. He's not going to physically or verbally abuse you. Now, don't get me wrong, there will be times that you have arguments. So if he does say bad words, he's not saying it to you, he's just saying it because of the situation. Grown men also take responsibility if they made you feel a certain way. So let's just say you were upset with him. He will actually take responsibility for that. He will say, I'm sorry that me doing such and such made you feel like that. Or he'll be like, oh, you know, I didn't know that when I did this, you felt like that. So he will try his best to correct his behavior. When it comes to grown men having friends, that's completely okay. Completely normal and healthy for him to have a social life. So you might find that every weekend he hangs out with his friends, and if you're living together, he sees you when he comes home. So he probably doesn't really think there's anything wrong with it. You might approach him and you could probably say something like, hey, you know, when you come home from work, we spend like 3 or 4 hours together. And then on the weekends, I don't see you because you're always out with your boys. He's going to listen and he's going to hear you. And he's probably going to accommodate you by saying, okay, how about every other weekend we hang out? He will do whatever he can to make you feel like you are a part of his life. However, don't expect him to drop his friends. In fact, if you do find that you are needy, because let's be real, some of us women can be needy, that is something that you actually have to work on. So get yourself a hobby. Just do something where you have your own life so that you're not so dependent on him. Remember, a man is just a small piece of the pie. There is so much more life outside of him and your relationship. When it comes to grown men and his female friends, it's literally not a problem. In fact, if you're dating, you don't really have the rights to tell him who he can and can't speak to because you're dating. When you're his girlfriend, he's more likely to take distance from his female friends because that's just what grown men tend to do. Now, I know through my own experiences, I have male friends and I can always tell when they're in a new relationship because it's literally happy birthday, Abby, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. They literally socially distance from me. We might hang out, but it's literally with me, him, and his girlfriend because it's someone's birthday, there's a celebration, but it's not just us one-on-one, and that is completely normal. So when it comes to grown men and female friends, there will be zero competition, and he will not ever want to make you feel like you're competing with a spot in his life. When it comes to grown men and his exes, if he has children or a child, obviously the mother is going to be a part of his life. So don't get jealous if it's Mother's Day and he buys her like a Mother's Day card with a bunch of flowers. That's just him literally showing his appreciation, and it goes to show you what type of character he is. So if you look in the card and you see it says, you know, love from him and his son, I wouldn't be jealous. It's just him showing his appreciation. However, if he gets her a Valentine's Day card, that's a bit. But I also want to say as well, it might not be from him because when I was growing up, I actually didn't understand Valentine's Day and what it was about. It's just so commercialized, and my mum and dad were separate. So I used to like to get my mum a Valentine's Day card. However, I didn't have the money to buy one. I wasn't going to steal one. So when I was out shopping with my dad, sometimes I would ask him to, you know, can I get this card for mom? And it would literally be me signing the card and me scribbling in the card, and my dad would have no part of it. But when it comes to a Mother's Day card, yeah, he might actually write in nice handwriting, you know, I appreciate you, thank you for being in our child's life. That's normal. If you do find that that is uncomfortable with you, because there will be times where they have to get together, like a school play. Most school plays now, they only allow 2 people to come. That's mom and dad. So obviously there will be times when they are together without you. And if that's something that you can't handle, you're probably better off dating a man that doesn't have children. But a grown man will literally respect you and also respect the mother of his child. And he won't do anything to make you feel jealous. That's what I'm trying to get at. When it comes to grown men and his mother and his sister. Luckily, if he has a good relationship with his mom and sister, that's a good thing. They will be a part of his life. However, if his mother and his sister are being disrespectful towards you, he should have the courage to check them, put them in their place. Just like if you are being disrespectful to his mother or his sister, he should have the courage to also correct you and put you in your place. Understand that as his girlfriend or as his wife, you are not competing against his mother or his sister. Three different women, you play three different roles. So the men are financially responsible, so they don't spend their money on recklessness. Grown men also like to include you in decision making. So let's just say he feels like he wants to do something, but he's not sure how you're going to react or how you're going to take it. He will ask, he'll be like, hey, how do you feel about me doing this? Or how do you feel about me going over here? And he will listen to what you have to say and how you feel about it. And if he knows that you're not going to be happy with it, he will do his best to try and put you at ease, or he just won't do it because he knows he's going to upset you, and that's the last thing that he wants to do. Grown men are not someone that you should be pushing over or trying to use and abuse. If you have a grown man in your life, consider yourself to be very lucky and very blessed. I know there's a lot of videos going around saying, you know, scam, get the bag, blah, blah, blah. Grown men tend to be generous anyway, so I really don't think that there's a need for you to want to take advantage of him. I don't think it's nice to do that. But yeah, those are my thoughts and opinions on a grown man versus a grown boy. That's just what I could think of off the top of my head. But please, as I said before, if there is anything that you could think of, I would really appreciate your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Now, I have to do a shameless plug and promote my services. So I have an 8-week one-on-one coaching program called Her Higher Self, and it's basically designed to connect you to your higher self. We will work on your mindset, we will work on your limiting beliefs, and we will actually get you comfortable in feeling validated in who you are and knowing your worth so that you can attract the right relationship into your life. If that is something that you're interested in, I invite you to go onto my website and fill in the form. It's literally zero obligation to join. We will talk about your issues and see if I can help you going forward. So the information is in the description box below. That is all I have to say for now. I want to say thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.